Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Well, as you can tell, we're not on the road today, we're in the cable, and I have to say I recently looked at Facebook, and you know I usually don't, but I saw something in it a couple weeks ago, and I talked to this one person. He's never been on the show before. He's our general manager. And welcome, Paul.
Thank you very much, Caroline.
I'm glad you had a chance. Well, at that time, you were still quarantined.
Right.
Because you went on a trip.
That's true.
And now you're back over here.
That's true. I'm back after 2 weeks of working from home, so I'm good. It's good to be back.
And I had asked you, what do you like best? And you said, they both have their own.
They do. They do. It's working from home is good. I think we all experienced it for a couple months back in the spring, and I had a chance to do it again, and it's very effective. And again, congratulations to our IT department for making it all happen for us. So
that's great. At one time, we didn't know ITT was existing, you know, and all of a sudden John Truitt started walking around, and who's he, you know?
Sure.
And anyway, the reason I had called, because on the Facebook it looked like Wyandotte was actually sort of promoting a was the powerhouse or power home solar system, right?
Correct.
And I said, I don't think it's our advertisement. So I called you up and I said, how about feeding me on this information? What is really on the Facebook and what's down here at the Municipal Service Station? So, can you help us?
Sure, I absolutely can. First of all, I wanted to say up front that Municipal Services has no affiliation with any solar vendor or solar installer. And if any of your viewers have any questions on phone calls that they may receive or solicitations, I always encourage them to call either customer assistance. They can call myself. My phone number and my email is on our website.
Okay.
Or they could call the mayor's assistant and she can get a hold of me. Or they can call Amber Haggerty, who is my assistant, who helps me out quite a bit with solar projects here in Wyandotte.
Okay. All right. But if somebody decides, hey, I'd like to look into this and see if I can get it in my home, what's the process?
Well, the first step is to select a company that you feel comfortable working with. That company really takes the initiative of contacting municipal services and starting the process of installing solar at your home. We have programs for residential installation and commercial installation.
Okay.
We do have a very detailed process that we have on our website that typically can be followed by the homeowner, but really as a homeowner or a commercial business, your first step would be to find a licensed solar. That's another critical point, is they have to be a licensed contractor to install solar. So typically you contact the company that would install it. They begin the process with the electric department. So initially the electric department in Wyandotte would have a customer service representative go out to the location and do a feasibility study of whether solar would be applicable or beneficial or would be something that would fit the location that they're asking to put it in. So that's the first step.
Okay, in considering that, is it be like if the roof is facing a certain,
That's one of the decisions that they look at, is where the potential location of the panels would be. And if you're using a reputable installer that's licensed, they would be very adept in knowing how to angle those panels to pick up the most sun during the day.
So they still could angle it even though it was not directly facing that direction?
That's correct.
Okay.
But once it's installed, the solar panels themselves are stationary once they're installed, so they're going to make the best estimate based on how your house is located and where the panels are going to go in order to generate the most solar energy from those panels.
Okay. Well, that's something, because maybe your home isn't going in the right direction, and you wouldn't have the benefit of the sun through most of the day,
Right.
or even, say, a season.
Right.
So, but one thing, though, how many solar companies are there here? Are there a lot of them? Or?
That's we typically have seen maybe 2 or 3 different ones
Okay.
here in Wyandotte. Again, the process begins with the electric department, and once it gets through the feasibility part of the process,
Yeah.
the second step is for the contractor to submit plans to building and engineering. So there's a whole permit process that it goes through, just like any electric activity at a home or a business that
Yeah.
has to be inspected. It's the same process with the building and engineering department. They would review the actual plans at that point, and you would move forward from there.
Okay. You did have a process put on our monitor.
That's correct.
Maybe we can run through that, and Amy can put it on
Sure.
as you're discussing it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. There it is. Wyandotte Municipal Services.
So this procedure is actually, if your listeners or viewers don't write it down as we're speaking about it, it's always available on our website under Energy Programs.
Is
And
it? Okay.
There's actually an Energy Programs tab on the face page of the Municipal Services website.
Okay.
You would just go there, and it's the exact form that I'm going to talk about here. So
Right now, they have a solar installation procedure.
Correct.
All right.
So the first item that I discussed earlier was the process of contacting municipal services to have the electric department go out to the location and do a feasibility study of solar for that particular location. Assuming that it gets through that process, then the customer would sign any agreements and any applications for the city, and then they would contact Amber in my department, who would begin the process of the agreements going through internally with WMS, and then the contractor would begin on the next step to contact the building department.
Okay. So the next page would, yep. That you sort of talked about too
Correct.
before.
So one of the big benefits of having located all of city services here at the new City Hall, I call it the new City Hall, but we've been here for several years now, is that the administrative offices for municipal services and the building and engineering department are all on the same floor. So it's really a one-stop shop when you come to see either Amber in my department or the building and engineering department. So you can take care of everything at one counter. And that's really for the contractor, again, not for the homeowner or the business owner. This is the contractor dealing with us.
Of course, that's the second floor.
That's correct. That's correct.
You come to the third floor, you gotta go down one, okay? Okay, so something about meter sockets.
So one of the interesting aspects of installing solar on your house is you're actually going to have you're going to have 2 meters on your house now, okay? Municipal services only allows a certain meter socket to be installed on your house. You can get it through municipal services, which is what this step talks about, or if you can get the identical meter through an electrical supplier, you can also do that, but it has to be a particular type of meter.
Okay, all right.
So you pay for that here, the contractor pays for it here, and it's, again, part of his installation process, and they would actually pick that meter socket up at the storeroom on 11th Street. So
Okay.
pay for it at City Hall, pick it up on 11th Street.
Okay.
Then the next step, actually, and one of the points I wanted to make about having 2 meters is everybody's familiar with the electric meter that they already have on their house. So for solar, you have 2 meters, and the reason you have 2 meters is that the one meter on your home measures the amount of electricity or or energy that's delivered to your home by municipal services. So solar's not going to take care of all of your energy needs,
Right.
but it's going to take care of some of it. So you're going to still get electricity through the normal path for municipal services. But that same meter also monitors the solar energy or electricity that's produced by your solar panels, and any excess that is produced that you don't use, you actually sell back and you receive a credit on your bill for the amount of excess solar energy. And that's equal to the same rate that we charge our residential customers for
Okay.
electricity.
All right, so now you sort of get it banked, so to speak. You get money for it, but then if you needed it again, what happens? Can you draw out from?
It's a day-by-day netting. It's not, battery technology is probably something that has been developed in the electric industry to a certain extent. It's not quite there yet for
Okay.
wide-scale use. And that's not only for homes and businesses, but even on an industrial scale like for municipal services. I mean, in the future, we possibly could have large batteries where we generated electricity when it was cheap for us to do it, stored it, and then used it when it was 100 degrees out on a day.
So in essence, you could have your own solar system and making it beneficial.
Sometime in the not too distant future, that's correct. That's correct.
I still get the biggest kick out of those two whirlwinds on the other side of town, and usually the one is flipping around, the other one's just sitting there.
Right.
So, okay, so this gives people at home an idea what the process
Right.
is.
And there's also the second meter measures the amount of energy that in total that the panel creates, not just the excess, but the total
Really?
amount of solar energy. And that's the second credit you get on your bill, and that's a 5 cent per kilowatt hour credit.
Okay. So who is the person in charge that has to figure this out? Anybody in particular?
Sure. We have our always capable customer service department on 11th Street. Mm-hmm. We have Jake Lemerow, who is the customer service #1. We have him go out to the different sites and he looks at the reads for the various solar meters.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Are there a lot of them out there now in the city of Wyandotte?
I'd say we probably have, I'd say maybe in the 50s, probably.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's still,
Right.
that's a
The
start.
largest solar array installed in the city is still actually on the roof of the water filter plant. And the tennis courts at the north end of Bishop Park also have solar installed on them. So those are the two biggest arrays.
Okay.
Wilson Middle School has it. Several businesses have it.
And it helps out.
At the end of the day, you do get a benefit from it.
Okay.
So again, you're a Wyandotte resident. Now, and I'll focus on the residential
Okay.
program. So you get your electric bill from municipal services each month, and you'll have a line item for the electricity in kilowatt hours that you used through municipal services.
Okay.
Then you'll have a line item on there for the credit. Let's say you used 500 kilowatt hours times our rate, and it's $75. Then you'll have a line on there for the excess energy or electricity produced by the solar panels, and let's say that comes to $20. All right. Then the total produced by the solar panels, let's say that comes to $30. So you'd have a $20 credit, you'd have a $30 credit, but you'd have used $75 of energy.
municipal.
So basically your net bill is going to be $25,
Okay.
if I got the math right, $20. 25, 30, and 75. So
Well, right now, summertime, it's hot, we're getting the benefit of it.
that's correct.
What about wintertime? Is it iffy?
So really the benefit for solar is that it is a good peak shaver for the electric provider, in this case municipal services. So our costs are highest when demand is highest, and that's typically when it's extremely hot outside.
Yeah.
Solar helps us shave those peaks because it's less demand on what we have to buy in order to provide the needs of the citizens and the businesses here in Wyandotte. So it's called peak shaving. So obviously your electric prices are going to be highest when it's most warm, which just happens to match exactly when solar is at its best.
So, okay. So you like to encourage people, if they can afford it and would like it, take a little step and find out.
I would never discourage anybody from putting it in. I would just caution everybody to make an informed decision. We do have a rebate program, which on top of the 2 credits that I mentioned on our monthly bill, we do have a rebate program that helps the person putting it in at the initial stages when it's completed.
Okay.
So for residential homes, we offer a $500 per kilowatt hour per kilowatt hour installed for the solar panels, up to a maximum of $2,500 per household. And the cap for residential is $25,000 per year. And that's a program that was approved by the Municipal Services Commission back in, I have the date here, 2015. So we've had the program for about 5 years now.
All right.
And then for commercial businesses, it's $500 per kW installed, up to a maximum of $5,000 per business, and a maximum of $50 for the total program each year. So if you think about it, for our max for individual homeowners on a program-wide basis, if everybody put in 5 kW at their house and took the maximum credit that we would give back when it was ready to go, which is $2,500 per house, that's 10 homes per year that could install solar in Wyandotte and get that credit from municipal services.
Okay, so every year you're sort of furnishing the X number of dollars in that little fund.
That's correct. And it's on a fiscal year, so municipal services operates on an October through September fiscal year, so the period that $25,000 per year applies to is that period.
Okay. Okay, so that gives us a little idea of what that Facebook was saying.
That's correct.
And not necessarily the company that you were dealing with all the time, because like you said, there are other ones out there.
Right.
And somebody else may come on knocking on the door and say, hey, would you be interested? So then they come to you, your department, and start all the procedure right there with all the building permits of inspections.
They can't, a solar installer cannot proceed until they initially contact municipal services regardless.
Okay.
So again, I caution anybody to just make smart decisions when you talk to any contractor.
Right.
These have to be licensed contractors. And again, the process starts with municipal services. We have no affiliation with anybody. So as long as they're licensed to do the job for the resident or for the business, we'll start the process and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. That's one department. But you're in charge of many other ones. And I said we'll probably have some special time that you can talk about. What, you got cable, you have electricity, you have water. What are those little trucks doing alongside of the streets in Wyandotte? And we're saying, okay, what are you doing?
So you've probably seen a lot of trucks that look similar to our large electric trucks. They've been here in Wyandotte, I believe, since probably last December. So last fall, in early to mid-November, the Municipal Services Commission approved a project that we bid out. It was in the 2020 budget. It's a conversion project for some of the transmission and distribution lines to make them more reliable and safer.
Okay.
So if the electric superintendent was here, he could explain it more technically than I could, but maybe it's better that I explain it because I explain it just how I understand it. So we're converting from a 4.8 kV transmission and distribution circuit to a 13.8, and that allows, so on a 4.8 kV circuit, if a wire falls, it's still going to be live on the ground, okay? But a 13.2 2 or 13.8 kV distribution, it will trip the circuit, so the line will be dead when it falls.
Oh, really?
So that's one of the big advantages of it. And the area that they've been working on, the trucks that you've seen, they're white trucks. They say Universal on them. They're a IBEW Local 17 contractor, because all of the contractors that we bring into Wyandotte that work on our electrical system have to be signatory to our labor agreement. So they're out there in their trucks. Universal's their name, and they've really been focusing on the area south of Eureka, north to probably Vinewood, and then west towards the train tracks. So that area, we tend to have some more outages than we'd like to, and that gets into the reliability component. So that they're still out here. They should be out here for a little while longer.
Okay.
And then the system will be converted to 13.8 kV, and it will also allow us to eliminate the Grove substation and the Vinewood substation. So we'll
really?
eliminate 2 substations, correct?
Where you had a little problem with the one, right? Vinewood one.
We've had some issues with both of them, and it's
Okay.
another reason why we're doing this project is that
Okay.
13.8 kV can transmit electricity over longer lengths, so we don't need the different
Okay.
substations.
So what are you going to do with them? Just tear them apart or keep them just in case?
We'll decommission them, and then we'll decide at a future date. We haven't decided completely yet, so
Okay, that's another project, phase 2 or 3.
that's correct.
Okay. I know Amy's been saying something, and there's a lot going with cable too. And what do you know about?
Well, that's a good question. So cable probably has the most exciting project that we're working on. And we all use the term cable. It's kind of a generic term now, like Kleenex or things
Yeah.
of that nature. But really, cable for us now is not only the video, but it's also internet, broadband, okay? So municipal services in the cable department under Steve Timko are embarking on a rebuild of the internet system. It's going to be complete fiber to home and businesses. And to put it succinctly, we will have super fast internet here in Wyandotte. We will have, without a doubt, the fastest internet not only in Wyandotte, but also downriver and probably in the Metro Detroit area. I can't think of another community that would have internet that's fast. So right now, the maximum speed that we offer through municipal services in the cable department is 300 meg speed.
Okay.
That's download speed. We're going to offer initially 1 gig, which is over 3 times. I would say 3 times faster, but I'm sure that's incorrect.
Really?
It's faster, but it's expandable at some point, and it won't be available right away. But in the not too distant future, it can go up to 10G or 10 gig, and that is incredibly fast. And it really allows us to respond to the changing needs of the community. You have people who are streaming their TV through the internet now, so that instead of getting it through cable, they stream it through the internet. You have gamers who want upload and download speeds that are just as fast. You have people that have Ring doorbells that need that speed. You have people with Wi-Fi thermostats. So there's an incredible demand on bandwidth and internet speeds for cable providers, and it was the right time for municipal services to embark on that effort.
So are we independent of that compared to maybe another city around us? I mean, how come we can do it and it's not being done elsewhere?
Well, first of all, we have the ability with municipal services to, we're the hometown provider. Mm-hmm. So just like it's beneficial for the residents and the businesses in Wyandotte to get to the decision makers faster here than just about anywhere. If I don't live in Wyandotte, unfortunately, but I'm certainly not calling the CEO of DTE if my electric's out. But I'll tell you what, if the outages here last longer than they should, I certainly get plenty of calls on it. So it's just the ability to get decisions done sooner, more efficient, And it's an overall benefit not only for the residents and businesses, but it allows you to attract new business to Wyandotte.
True.
You have plenty of doctor offices and medical professional facilities that go up on Biddle, and they would love to have the fastest internet. Having the fastest internet and being able to tout that is a huge economic development tool for the city. So there's a lot of winners in the whole process.
Okay. You'll have to come back some other time and give us another idea. I got the clue saying we only have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
And I have to make you people aware, last week we went to the police station, we talked to the dispatch team, we have like an interview with the individuals there, as you can see. It's like a 12 to 13 minute segment, and that will be featured next week when we have a little bit more time. And so I thank them also. There's Beth over there. She's one of the people in the department. There were two others there at the time. And that's something coming forward next week. So Paul, thank you for coming. You give us a little bit this and this, and wow. But there's probably a lot more that's in the upcoming.
There certainly is, and anytime you want to have me back, I would have no problem.
Okay. Well, you let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Take care now. Okay.